Hey, um, definitely glad to be back with another video. Butterfly to Light. I had someone that asked me a question about a video that I did in the past on my channel. It's called God Consciousness, and this is where this question stemmed from. This person, he wanted to know what I felt about prayer and how it's, what it's, how it corresponds to astrology and things of that nature. Like, what part does prayer actually fit into our experience if we're not religious? And I will have to say, yeah, like we have not really claimed a direct religion and went by that. I say, yeah. And I would love to explain how. So I had to get my dry erase board. So I got my dry erase board for this, and what I wanted to do is kind of talk about it in terms like more with how it fits in with the bigger picture. Okay, now I do have a female here and a male, but it's just really about the energies. And we can understand that, then we'll be good. So let's talk about this. Let's get into it, shall we? So so let's talk about, first of all, the energy itself. Energy itself is the makeup of astrology. I feel like it's all of that together in one. I feel like religion falls under that umbrella, whether people believe it or not, because at the end of the day, we're dealing with duality. It's our experience here on Earth, right? How we make ourselves aware that we're experiencing on Earth. Well, this is how we've begin to understand our experience on Earth as up until now. You know what I'm saying? From the energy that we've been coming out of into where we're going. Okay? And what we've been doing is we've been understanding our experience on Earth through our interactions with other people. Okay, so what am I saying? What am I talking about? Let's go back to a religion. Let's go to Christianity to be exact, because the reason why I speak of Christianity is because that's what I was raised in. That's the religion that I know. And let's just talk about remember when God just, he made his creation, and then after he made his creation and he started seeing how his creation was acting, the way that they go about things, like the way that they were going about the experience. And remember, he became regretful of his creation. Okay, let's go there. And he wanted to know, because he was demanding to people, like, do right. Why, God darn it, why can't these people be aware of themselves and their behaviors? It's like they got these fallacies going on. They can't get it together. I don't understand. Like, they're through cause and effect, through simple cause and effect, they're doing things, and then when they're getting back what they're doing, and this is in creation too, they're praying to me, they're questioning me, is there a God, or what's going on? Why me? You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not understanding what's going on. They're not understanding their experience ultimately, right? So God's sitting up there, mind you, like, I believe people can believe whatever they want to believe in, for whatever reason, but I'm not really looking at God as some man sitting in a big chair in the sky. I just am not looking at God like that at all. So we got to keep that in mind. But however, what happens is God got tired, and God said, well, you know what? Dag on it. I'm fed up. If I can't figure out why these people are behaving this way, there's something I'm missing. And they're my creation, but it's something that I miss and I don't get. So what did God have to do? God then had to incarnate into physical being. Because remember, he's a spirit. If you look at it now, look at life now, the spiritual realm, the spiritual aspects, whoever you want to talk about, the fairies and angels, whatever you want to say, you know what I'm saying, demons, whatever. Like, this is all under that umbrella. It's not a surprise we talk about this in religion. They don't experience being here on earth like we do. In the Bible, as a matter of fact, it even said that there was some angels that were jealous of the human experience. That's why you got to get to know yourselves, buddies, because you want to sit here and you want to put like a lot of your time, your energy, and effort to the things that are out there. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I can say. But however, yeah, so even with that being said, my point of the matter is that God had to incarnate to become human and experience, okay, as Jesus. This is not nothing new. This is what it says in scriptures. Does anybody ever stop and ask themselves, well, why did couldn't God have came as anything else? Like, couldn't God have just appeared as this big spirit in the sky and started walking on earth and experiencing? Shouldn't God have done this or known that? Well, you would ask yourself that question, but ask yourself this. Right now, look at yourself, pinch yourself, feel your face. You're in flesh. Somebody cut you, you'll bleed. This is the laws of the planet Earth. God had to come in to the existence to experience, like us, like the people that was actually here in physical form at the time, had to come and experience that way, because really there is no other way to come in and experience. So he had to go through childbirth. Right there, that shows the relationship between the feminine and masculine right there. You know what I'm saying? Spirit essence projecting itself through physical form, coming out the womb, breathing life. Okay, that's feminine, masculine. It's duality all over the board. But whatever the case may be, it's how he entered into the experience. That's how spirits enter into the experience. Spirits or soul beings that take forms, and inside of the soul beings, or on the outside, here we are with our avatar, what we came into life to be like, live like, experience this time around. Okay, with that being said, as he walked the earth as Jesus, actually Jesus would have been very enlightened. He wouldn't have been necessarily quote unquote religious. And there's other books that were not placed in the Bible that actually explains this, and I'm not going to get into that right now. We'll go into that later. All right, so basically Jesus was teaching people how to overcome their sins, right? Because people were struggling, overcome their sins, overcome their bottom dwelling. Just because you desire something doesn't mean you have to go after what you desire. It doesn't mean that you have to, kill, steal, and destroy for that. It doesn't mean that it means none of that. It's about, understanding that as you grow, as you learn, you experience, then the quality of your experience should change. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be stuck or bound to the devil. You don't have to be down there bound and stuck to your root chakra. The things of your root chakra, the things of your sacral chakra, the lower level chakras. It's like, look, let's get this together, and we need to rise above these things, okay? Let me show you how to do it. But the way the Bible is written and translated, is all that stuff, but just translated over into another communication channel, another expression, another way of getting it out. And just like every religion, that's just how it goes. But I don't want to say too much on that. We're talking about getting to a point here. So yeah, rise above your lower level activities, human. You know what I'm saying? Rise in your consciousness. You don't have to be bound to these things. Like, you don't have to. You are creating your own pit to fall in. You know, that devil's pit, because you are enslaved, chained, limited in your beliefs, limited in your thought process, man. You know? So, with that being said, Jesus, and he's here and he's experiencing life, but he's experiencing it through other people, because now he can get down here, he can relate, he can say, okay, I'm trying this. As a matter of fact, remember, he went to hell. You know, it was part of his ministry, his walk in this life. So it's like, I experience, so I see what it is to be tempted. I see what it is to fall short. I see all these things. Now, keep in mind, some of the books were taken out of the Bible. We're not put in there. And, you know, like I said, that's neither here nor there. We're trying to talk to get to a point here, have a focal point, and just keep it general, you know, until I get to the point that I'm making. So, it's like, I've seen, you know, and I'm trying to tell you guys on how you can escape your own imprisonment. Okay, you can have a better experience in life, but it was all because he was really trying to show people, like, look, you don't even got to learn through these people over here. You really don't. It's about learning yourself. I really feel like that was the message. In return, it sounded like, or it comes out as, okay, you learn God. We raise to our God consciousness. Okay? I'm definitely a believer of the spiritual world and realm. I know firsthand. So I'm not knocking that. You know what I'm saying? But people's point of view of what God is, how it looks, how that energy plays out is, you know, each his own. I have nothing to do with that. So my point is, we're here, we're living, and it's kind of like, you know, you go and you touch a stove. How do we learn that the stove is hot? Like, the people that first created or came across fire or started using fire, you know, just anything, just like anything that we've involved ourselves with, but we didn't know, we weren't aware of, it wasn't taught to us, it wasn't brought to our consciousness, and we learn through trial and error sometimes. You go and you touch that stove and you get burned. Okay, now you don't have to go and touch that stove because you know that you'll get burned. Now, what about the people that don't have to touch the stove? That never gets burned by the stove to learn, hey, you don't have to touch that stove to get burnt. Those was the people to where somebody in the past touched that stove. But the people that touched that stove and got burnt was able to come and say, when the people were young and they're growing up, they put it in their head, hey, you don't touch the stove because the stove will burn you. So the people that were provided with the enlightenment of not touching a hot stove, they don't have to go touch the stove. You get it? They don't have to experience that portion of life. They don't have to get burned. That is what it's all about. That's what Jesus was doing. That is what consciousness, evolution, evolving, enlightening ourselves is about. Hey, if I went through a series of abuse and I didn't share it, I couldn't talk to nobody about it, what can I do now to prevent somebody else from going through that? You know, it's as simple as that. Okay, so let's go back to the touching the fire. Touching the fire, the stove is hot. You know, that was something that you had to experience, or you chose to experience, right? And it's all part of duality. Duality is the way that we compare and contrast things. It's how we feel like we need to judge our existence here. It makes us feel like, okay, this is me doing good. This is me doing not so good. What do I do? Okay, maybe I should stop being involved with A, B, and C. Maybe I shouldn't drink all night when I got to get up and study. It's just simple as that. Okay? So, even we get into relationships with people, and we get into those relationships with people, and we can tell after getting out of that relationship, okay, do I want to be in another relationship with a person like that, or do I not? Hence, going back to the stove. You believe it or not, somebody will touch a stove, get burned, don't learn their lesson, go back and turn it and touch it again, and get burned again. And guess what? They'll keep doing it until what? They get the point that the stove is hot. Just like in our experience in duality, in our partnerships, and how we're comparing and contrasting ourselves, and how we show up out into the world, how we learn who we are. You know, a person in a relationship, like I said, you know, they get out of one relationship that wasn't working for them, and then they say, hey, here comes Joe Schmo. Going and getting with Joe Schmo is about to take me down the same path that I was when I was with Billy Joe. You know what I'm saying? Did I learn my lesson from Billy Joe? Okay, I didn't learn my lesson. I'm about to go get in the same situation with Joe Schmo. You know, then you got somebody that will say, I learned my lesson in my experience with Joe Blow. I don't have to experience Joe Schmo. I want something else in my experience, okay? This is our conscious creations and being in control of by knowing who we are. We're not being in control of anybody else, in control of ourselves. So this is when we start bridging the gap to duality, but still the duality is there. We just don't have to experience it the same way, okay? Now, that duality brings me to the masculine and feminine force, because that's what it is. You know, that's how we're showing up. There's always a cause and reaction. So as we're actively choosing, and we're getting in return, like, quick, you know, what we're choosing, how we're choosing, we're getting that in return quick. And yes, you know, with life, things constantly is happening. It's up to us how we respond, how we react to that, to what's happening. It doesn't take away from us not being human. Like, we're all going to experience sadness, heartache, hardships, the things that people try to ignore and call negative. Remember, negative, positive. Just another aspect of masculine, feminine, duality, all of that, right? People will say, well, whenever you notice anything negative, or whenever you notice a bad part of life, that's negative. It's not negative. It's noticing that helps us clear that up. Okay, so let's get into where I'm going with this. This is one of my more extensive videos. That's where meditation and prayer shows up. Remember, it's a reflection. Just like being suspicious, the reflection of being suspicious is being curious. You know what I'm saying? You can cross the line between the two. Just like meditation, meditation is looking into the mirror of prayer, which we got here. People try to make a distinct, a distinction between the two. Is really connected. In the Bible, it talks about meditation as well, being meditative, and, you know, your prayer. And they try to make meditation evil. I have heard many religious people say meditation was evil. And that's because people in general will try to paint feminine energy as evil. You know what I'm saying? And it's mostly because we've been stirred away from the feminine within us. You know what I'm saying? Women, the real feminine energy that when unleashed upon the planet is very raw in its essence. It's not, you know, tied up, bandaged. You can't wear this, you can't wear that. Just like the men, the masculine energy is allowed to be free, and there you can establish your own moral code and conduct, but until they learn, grow through their experience, they get to be free. The feminine energy cannot be free through societal norms. That's what they put in our head, okay? When you are just free in your feminine expression, and you're just living and you're just experiencing, you're labeled, okay? It's not the norm, and we're breaking past that. Okay, so it is not about being above the masculine. It's about understanding that energy is equal. Look, it's showing you right here, you know. But okay, so the feminine, masculine, the mirror to the meditation is a prayer. Okay, so let's talk about what the meditation is, because on this side is meditative state. And you see the arrows is going in here. It's going in. Okay, it's receptive energy. So when we meditate, we come back to ourselves. We're in our feminine essence. We are in tune with our environment. Meditation is good for, relieving stress, mental anxiety, depression. In everybody, males and females, can benefit off of meditation. And I'm not sitting up here talking about, as a matter of fact, you can manifest from meditative state, because remember, when you're in the feminine energy or essence, you're tapping into that does not exist physically, but it exists already, because if you can bring it into creation, it exists. So it's existing, but you have to tap into that, yank that crap out. It has to become, it's something you take in. It has to become a thought, okay? And then you project it, all right? Which is prayer. Over here. Prayer. Projection. Masculine energy. And you see him, and you see how the arrows are going outwards. This is our state of being, what we're doing, when we are influencing, when we're experiencing, when we're bringing in what we manifested. We bring it into physical form. And with prayer, what's going on, this is, first of all, prayer is projection. So if you think about the feminine and masculine roles in this particular, how it shows out in duality, the feminine, receptive. Okay, I'm receiving, I'm open, I am caring, I'm nurturing myself and what I need, what I feel. Okay, because this is how we become aware of our existence. If we're projecting all the time, we are not aware of our existence. As a matter of fact, we can become very selfish. This is where you get wars. This is where you get power struggles. And it's me, I. Okay? But you can use either energy, negative and positive, at the same time. But I feel like, but when you look at the masculine side of things, though, masculine, that role, this is where they get that, man, I want to go out, protect and serve. You know what I'm saying? If somebody is about to come up over here in my country and my space, the people I love and care for, guess what? We about to be suited up. That's the masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to protect mine, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to do the work. I don't care. I'll go above and beyond to provide for mine at the same time. Okay? So with that being said, when we do prayer, we are sending out something. Okay, we're sending out our intent. We're saying, okay, I've sat back. I've meditated on this. I've understood who I am. I know what I want to create. Boom, let's get it done. I'm praying. As a matter of fact, the meditation could be more focused on a personal matter, me, myself. You know what I'm saying? And what I can cause, what I can bring in to better my situation or for the world. It doesn't matter. The prayer is like, let's say you're like, man, I'm going in a fight mode. I'm about to pray to God. I need Archangel Michael. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to get things done. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling out the prayer warriors from the spiritual side, you know, and putting out my intent. Like you could work together with people here in physical form, but you can work together with people or spirits, you know, beings that's outside of physical form, and you can form a team. Everybody has their teams, okay? In their team is negative and positive. You don't get away from that until you learn that the reflection is judgment. We'll get into that on another video. But you get your prayer warriors together, you know, your team together, and you say somebody is sick or somebody is needing help, somebody is needing a miracle. You can use your power, your intent to pray a manifestation out for somebody else. So if somebody gets healed, you and your team, or you believe that so much, you have faith that you manifested your intent, okay? And whoever's working against the scenes, the angels, whoever, God, is like that energy that you're putting towards that person's direction is powerful. We can do anything. We just have to put our mind to it. If it exists here, it already exists there. I pray a lot. I pray all the time. Like I pray driving down the street. You know what I'm saying? I probably pray more than I meditate, because meditation requires more of coming inward. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to have a balance of the two. So I'm gonna stop right there. It's been fun. It's been like I plan on doing more videos like this. I'm gonna put the link below to the video that I did that was called God Consciousness. And thank you. I'll be back. And it's me, Butterfly to Light. Peace.